On the pod again? Why, yes, we're on the pod again. We are on the pod again. And we'll always be on the pod again. Welcome back. Taylor Neely Show. Another solo episode here for you tonight on a Friday evening, 9 p.m., 9:13 p.m. to be exact, on June 14th, 2024, the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, God Almighty above, the man in charge. Whoever's in charge is the person in charge. It could be a man, could be a woman, could be a giant orb in the sky that reigns over us all and controls us like a bunch of puppets that we are. I'm getting in the zone, sitting in this chair, getting in the podcast zone. I got my coffee, got my two bubblies. Did I crack one open too early? I did crack one open. Got two bubblies over here. I won't run out of drinks. I won't have to do the classic Taylor Neely get up and get a drink that I am prone to do seemingly every single episode. I seem to get up out of my chair and go get a drink or take a pee, because I have the bladder of a young baby. Not an old baby, a young baby. I have the bladder of a baby that has not fully developed yet, because they say your brain and your bladder do not fully develop until you are 26 years old. And so I'm 28, and you would think both of those things would be developed strong and mighty. I would have a strong, mighty bladder, a strong, mighty brain, but sometimes I feel like I have the brain of a little young baby. And sometimes I feel like I have the brain of a coyote. God, I love a coyote. I love a wild animal, because they're wild. That's the first thing you notice about them, is they are not domesticated. I watched this movie. I was in Ohio recently for a wedding, me and Angel, my girlfriend. We went up to Ohio for a wedding. My friend Blake Reed, the best friend since the first day of kindergarten, my first best friend in my entire life. That is not one of my brothers. He has been my best friend for the majority of my adult life for 22 years, he's been my best friend in the entire world. One of them, I have many best friends, but Blake is the first one in first day of kindergarten. That's awfully cute, isn't it, to be best friends with someone since the first day of kindergarten? They don't tell you that's how it's going to work out, but it's simply how it's worked out for me and Blake Reed, one of my best friend. Wedding was good, and I forget where I was going with that, but that's where I was. I was at a wedding. And while I was in Ohio, we watched this movie, Arcadian, with Nicolas Cage and two young boys. And the movie had like an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I disagree with it. I give it a 62 and a half. 62, between 62 and 63. Any decimal point between there, that's what I give it. I did not like it. The acting in it pissed me off. The acting in it made me very mad. The acting was bad. Nicolas Cage did an amazing job. Sorry, that is the sound of me wiping my nose. Nicolas Cage did an absolutely incredibly rip-roaring job. He did a great job, but the actors, one of the younger son in the movie, he did good. He did a good job of acting, and I liked his acting. But the older son and then this girl. So this movie, Arcadian, takes place in it's a post-apocalyptic world, which I love. Post-apocalyptic movies. I think my love for post-apocalyptic movies started with The Day After Tomorrow, and that's literally as it becomes post-apocalyptic. It's apocalyptic. That's an apocalyptic movie, but I like movies where the world is ending, the world is over, like that new movie, A Quiet Place, Pre-Quiet Place, The Quiet Place 3, Pre-Quiet Place, looks incredible because it's as The Quiet Place begins. It sets the tone for the universe of The Quiet Place. John Krasinski's The Quiet Place. John Krasinski and Emily Blunt's The Quiet Place. Welcome back to 97.3 in the morning with DJ Quiet Place. DJ Quiet Place All right, DJ Quiet Place, classic DJ Quiet Place at CD 97.3 in the morning. Sorry, I don't have any fart sound effects. No morning zoo fart sound effects, unfortunately, but picture it in your head. Take a moment, picture it in your head, a morning zoo fart sound effect. But this movie was Arcadian, 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. It just wasn't, I didn't like it. The Nicolas Cage did an incredible job, but the older son and this girl, post-apocalyptic world where like these monsters came to the earth and they eat people. I guess it wasn't very clear how the monsters kill people. I guess they kind of like they eat people how starfish eat people, so they release their stomach from their body and they like throw up some digestive enzymes on their prey, and that begins the digestive process. And then the monster just kind of envelops whatever its prey with its stomach that it drops out of its body, and then the monster becomes incapacitated while it eats the mom. It ate the mom in the movie, the mom of the girl. But so Nicolas Cage has these twin boys. They're twin boys, maybe. I'm remembering now. Maybe they were twins, but one definitely seemed older than the other. But the one twin, the one kid, he's going off to help on this farm. This farm where there seems to be a lot more people in this farm. And I guess this farm of people doesn't like working with Nicolas Cage. I guess he doesn't like them, or Nicolas Cage would prefer to have his own house. Seems to be how it is. They don't explain why Nicolas Cage and his boys aren't living with this compound of people. And Nicolas Cage has all these, like, this house that is like, they board it up every night, but it seems like the monsters in this movie would be able to they should be very strong. They look like they should be very strong, but then they're weak. And I was reading that the director of the movie wanted them to be like coyotes. Like coyotes, one coyote is weak, but many coyote is strong. And the monsters were kind of modeled after coyotes, I guess. I didn't really get them, but the one brother, the older brother, he has a love interest with this redheaded girl, and I have never seen more. I have before, but her acting made me so mad. It just wasn't believable, and they would like lick their lips before they said something. Both the guy and the girl, the boy and the girl, and they kissed at one point, and that's just part of the movie. That's not what I didn't like. The kissing was fine, but what I did not like was their acting. It just was cheesy, corny, and unbelievable. Nicolas Cage is always believable, though, but he's a seasoned veteran. He's seasoned vet of the game. He's been in the game for longer than I've been alive. He's a very famous actor, very rich, famous actor. He's been at it for, and this is not one of his best movies, but not one of his worst. Nicolas Cage has made kind of a comeback. He's not making it's not like a Matthew McConaughey, the reconnaissance comeback, but it's still Nicolas Cage is still always, the unmistakable weight of massive talent. That movie was great. Nicolas Cage at his finest. But really, where could Nicolas Cage be at his finest? I don't know, there's so many 7 degrees of Nicolas Cage. I mean, you got National Treasure Nicolas Cage, you've got Con Air. I've never seen Con Air, but I guess he had long hair, and it's one of his famous roles. I don't know. I've never seen it, so I can't weigh in on it. My nose is already all of a sudden clogged for no reason. Maybe I'm allergic to podcasting and I should quit. Some of you would like that, wouldn't you, if I quit podcasting? Some of you would like that a lot. Well, not this time. Taylor has got a full cup of coffee. He's got 2 bubblies. He's got a French press still filled with more coffee. So Taylor wins this round, haters. But I don't have haters. I don't think I have haters. The only haters I have are in my head that I make up. I think that's where most of my haters live. They live in a place where they don't exist. I think that's a true thing, that my haters are not real. I want to check on this real quick. I forgot. I'm still selling stuff. He didn't reply. Still selling these truck bed covers. But we sold 2 of the 3 truck bed covers. 1 more to sell, and then we'll have made a little bit of a profit. And I sold an item today. I sold one of my firearms. I sold one of my guns. I'm moving to Texas, and I'm trying to just have some money for the move. So I didn't need to stutter through that so hard, but I did. I did. So that movie was fine. I didn't like also the monsters in this movie. Let me get back to the movie. I'm getting back to the movie. The monsters in this movie just they didn't make sense to me at all. Like they were kind of like people. They had 2 arms, 2 legs. They crawled on the ground like someone on all 4s, but they had this head that was they had a long neck, and then they had a head that had like a false face on the top that looked kind of like an old tiki mask. Like an old tiki mask is what it looked like. An old tiki mask. I don't know if that makes sense with stuff painted on it. But then their jaw would open up, and then they would snap really fast, like da 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 da. And it would snap in such an unrealistic fashion. But it snapped so fast, it looked like it had so much force behind the snap that I would think they would be stronger monsters, but kids were able to punch them. Kids were able to punch them and thwart their advances. So it just didn't... The monsters didn't make sense. The monsters weren't realistic. And they made it seem like the monsters, like people would get bit by the monsters and you would become a monster, kind of like zombie-style monster. But no, that wouldn't happen. The monsters were from space, I guess. They told at one point in the movie, they were like, the boy and the girl were meeting before sundown, and the monsters come out at night, which go figure, monsters that come out at night. Come on, Hollywood. Come up with a new monster that comes out during the day. Maybe you have. I don't know. I don't know if there's a creature that is not nocturnal. What's the opposite of nocturnal? I don't know what the opposite of nocturnal is. But it could be. I could Google it real quick, but that's what a producer would be for. I don't have a producer. I can't afford to pay one. I'm the producer. I'm the executor. I'm the host. I'm the talent. I'm everything on this show. I'm the camera op. I'm the lighting guy. I'm the costume department. I'm set deck. I am everything on this podcast. Taylor Neely Show is a skeleton crew of one, and it's me. And it continues to be me on a daily basis. On a weekly basis. We do this podcast on a weekly basis. That's the amount of time. I'm a little late. I apologize for that. But who am I really apologizing to? It doesn't really matter, I guess. Noob Assassin, Nick Gandy. I'm sorry if you were expecting it on Tuesday and instead I posted on Saturday or whatever day. It's many apologies, I guess, but really doesn't matter. We're all just out here having fun. We're all just out here having a good time. We're all just out here making do with what we've been given. Making do with what we've been getting. Getting hot in Atlanta. It's summertime. Summertime is in full swing. Summertime is here, and it is making its presence known. It was hot today. It was hot this evening. When I went to meet up with that guy to sell him one of my guns, I was sitting waiting for him to come at me, and I was like, it's hot, and it's 6:30 p.m. and it's pretty darn hot. But that's how it gets in Atlanta. And I guess the Atlanta heat is nothing compared to Austin, which when I moved there in August, it's going to be sweltering. It's going to be sweltering. It's going to be absolutely sweat-inducing. The sweat is going to drip out of my pores. The sweat is going to leave my body at a quick pace. A quick pace is how the sweat will leave my body. Good coffee. I love coffee. I could drink coffee all day. You know, sometimes I think I should lay off the caffeine, but then what good would that do? I rarely notice any negative side effects of caffeine. Maybe sometimes I get over-caffeinated and sometimes I get tired out of nowhere, but I've mitigated that recently. I'm still microdosing mushrooms, not doing any other drugs. I swear on my own grave. And my own grave will be made of cheese. Like the moon, my grave will be made of cheese. That's the way... and my family will need to eat it the day I'm buried. They will need to eat it to forever immortalize me. I will be... Do I want to be cremated or cream pied? Cremated or cream pied? The age-old question. To be cremated or cream pied. It's everybody's new favorite game show, Cremated or Cream Pied. I'm going to write that down. It might never become anything, but... It possibly could, cremated or cream pied. You know, is that something? Is that a joke? Is cremated or cream pied a good cremated or cream pied? everyone's new favorite game show. Maybe I'll go try it on at a late mic tonight. Let me text this guy back real quick. If it's before 10, I can meet you by my apartment. Or if it's after 10, I can meet you at the house I'm working on. But the house I'm working on is a different address than the one I gave you, period. Just let me know. Comma, thanks, exclamation point. I just heard someone bang on my door, but the question is, were they banging on my door or was it just them walking down the stairs? The world may never know. That classic Tootsie Pop saying, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know, because the owl every single time would take a big giant bite out of the Tootsie Pop. The owl would thwart the research every single time. The little Boy Scout would come and say, hey, Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? And the owl would say, 1, 2, 3, crunch. And he would take a big bite. Guys, I'm going to turn on the AC. It's hot. I thought I could make it this whole podcast without getting up and fixing something, but alas, thwarted again by my own chagrin. Back in the hot seat. Back here, back in the hot seat. Turn it down to 69. What do you guys keep it at? What do you keep your AC at? I live in an apartment, and an AC really works quick in an apartment. It doesn't have a lot of work to do, but in a house growing up, I think I mentioned this before. My parents' house, the upstairs just does not get super cool super quick, but in an apartment, it is immediate, and I can sleep with a sweatshirt on in here at night if I crank it down low enough. Coffee's good. Coffee's good. It's good for me. It's what I like. Got new butter in my butter tray. Just put it in. I used the last of the butter in the butter tray on the pasta I made. Ooh, I've got pasta down to a science. It's so good, I don't make a peep while I'm eating it. The pasta I make is so good while I'm eating it, I don't make a peep. I got it down to a silence. But I use the last of the butter, so what I do is to make pasta is I have my protein, my meat. I usually have some kind of beef or a sausage. And I will, I'll brown up that meat. For here, I did short rib today, is what I did for this. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I did short rib for this pasta. I did a nice short rib pasta, and I seared it, and then I put my tomato sauce in a big, it's a wok. I use a wok, but it doesn't look like a wok. It was sold to me as a wok, but it's just a big half a circle pan. And I pour the sauce in there, and I brought that up to speed, and once it started bubbling a little bit, and as it bubbles, it shoots pasta sauce on your white t-shirt, and I guess this white t-shirt is going to be a work shirt now. I do like these. Gildan makes some good white t-shirts. Gildan makes some of the best in the biz. But so I bring that short rib up to. I get it seared, and then I dump the short rib in the pasta sauce, and my pasta is boiling. It's boiling. Add some salt to my pasta water, and then boil the noodles till they're a little less than al dente, just slightly less, and then finish off the pasta in the sauce. Finish it cooking it in the sauce. Add like a healthy hunk of butter to the sauce. That helps the noodles absorb the sauce, so you get sauce flavor in the noodles. The noodles absorb the sauce, and I added some parsley to this one, salt, pepper. And then I had some cream cheese in my fridge, and some jalapeno cream cheese in my fridge, and just some sprinkled cheese, which that's got cornstarch on it and like other anti-caking stuff, but. So I kind of made it a creamy sauce, and it was good. I added a little Tabasco and shaker cheese on there, and which shaker cheese is just table Parmesan cheese, which is kind of like, people say there's sawdust in it, which it looks like sawdust, but I think it's just cellulose, which I guess is technically part of wood, is what I heard. But really, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I don't care if I'm eating wood. I've been eating wood my entire life, if that's the case, and I'm fine. I'm completely fine. It's fine to eat wood. It's okay to eat wood. Don't go to the doctor. Don't go to the doctor. He'll tell you it's bad to eat wood. It doesn't agree with you. But you know what? It does agree with me. It agrees with everything I think and feel. That's my relationship with wood. With wood. What kind of wood are they talking? What cellulose? What do they put in shaker Parmesan cheese? What kind of wood? Is it really wood? Let's Google. Let's see what is cellulose. I'm wondering. Cellulose powder. What is it and where is it used? Cellulose is refined wood pulp. It is a white, free-flowing powder. Chemically, it is an inert substance. It is not degraded during digestion and has no appreciable absorption. In large quantities, it provides dietary bulk and may lead to a laxative effect. Cellulose is a commonly used excipient in the pharmaceutical industry. Blah, 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 blah. Alprazolam. Oh, they use cellulose in drugs. Alprazolam. Ooh, who doesn't love a little alprazolam? And for my babies out there, alprazolam is Xanax, which who doesn't love a Xanax? I can't do it because it'll make me do other drugs. Why wood pulp is in your Parmesan? Why wood pulp in your Parmesan won't kill you? Bon appetit. It's called cellulose, and you've eaten it before a lot. Yeah. There's good news and bad news about the revelation that's a supposed 100% Parmesan cheese was adulterated with cellulose, a filler often made from wood pulp. Oh, God. See, this is, that's too much. Maybe that's something I'll look into my own time, but I don't know. It's fine. It seems like, how is it fine, though? Like, how is it that if there's cellulose in Parmesan cheese, how do they find out you can put wood pulp in Parmesan cheese and it doesn't hurt you? What does it do? Just extend the product? Why would they put it in there? I mean, you're just cutting the Parmesan cheese. They might as well cut cocaine with cellulose. If they're cutting my Parmesan cheese with it, cut cocaine with it. Okay? Quit cutting cocaine with fentanyl and baby laxatives and B vitamins. Put cellulose in there. But that'll probably just clog you up. That's what the worst about when I was doing cocaine. I haven't done cocaine since I haven't done cocaine in a minute. And it I hate how cocaine clogs your nose. That's the worst. When cocaine clogs your nose, that's not fun. Then, you clog one nostril, pretty soon you're going to be clogging the other, and then before you know it, you're just sprinkling cocaine in your whiskey. I did that once. But I've done a lot of drugs. I've done drugs a lot of different ways. That's just my life experience, and that's fine. That's where I'm at. That's where I've been at. I've been good lately. I've been real good lately. All right, DJ Taylor Neely in the building. He's been good lately. He's been a good little boy. It's oftentimes he has not been a good little boy, but recently he has been a good little boy. It's been almost 2 months since I was in the emergency room, and not a hiccup since then. Just been microdosing mushrooms. Oh, what I was going to say about microdosing mushrooms. Which some of you may think microdosing mushrooms is a rocky road to taking pills and then drinking. And it could be, but you know what? I don't think it is right now because I'm only doing that. I was at a client's house the other day, and they had some just clonazepam just out, and I did not. I saw it, but I did not take it. And I was a good boy. And it would have been bad if I did. That's a crime. That's a crime to do. That's a crime to commit. And Taylor is not about committing crimes these days. Taylor is focused on... I've been focused on mainly making money because I was really tight on cash. I was very tight on cash. And what did I do? I sold a gun. I sold these truck bed covers. I got to work these past few days. I made good money at work doing handyman stuff, and we are back. We're back in the green, baby. Back in the green. So it feels good. But money stresses me out. When money is tight, oh man, I Tuesday night, I was, I dropped Angel off Tuesday. We went to that wedding together, and then we came back to Atlanta. And Tuesday, I dropped her off, and then I was just feeling so depressed. I took a nap and just feeling absolutely just depressed about my money, my financial situation, and I took a nap, and then I just couldn't get myself to leave the house. Financial insecurity just really just fucks with my head and makes me feel insecure. And that's why they call it financial insecurity, I guess, because it makes you feel insecure. But I wish I wasn't as married to how much money I see in my bank account, because it's never that much. I've never been doing extravagantly well, but sometimes it's more than others. And there's a point where I'll have this little amount of money, and that's where I start to sweat. I was sweaty. I was sweaty and stressed. And that's just where I was at. It's okay to be sweaty and stressed. It's okay to be sweaty and stressed, and I wish I was able to accept the circumstances that I was presented with in my life, but I was not. You know, I preach on this show a lot, like, accept your current situation and grin and bear it and find the joy in the little things you have. It's okay to be broke. There's pride in being broke. There's pride in being a starving artist. It's not fun. That's not fun. It's not fun to feel like you might get evicted. It's not fun because I run scenarios through my head. I run scary scenarios through my head where I'm like, I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. I'm not going to be able to move to Austin, Texas. I won't be able to pay my rent. I'm going to be dead broke. I won't be able to leave Atlanta, and I won't be able to go into the next chapter of my life. I'm hindering myself. But then what did I do? You know, I scared myself with all these thoughts. I future trip all the time. I have one leg in the future, one leg, really just one leg, both legs in the future, worrying about the future, worrying about, will I make money? Will I always be able to make money? But I'm lucky with my job where I put in 3 days. I'm working tomorrow too, and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and probably Wednesday. I'm working all those days, and I had 3 good days. Tomorrow's another day, and I really hit the ground running. I hit the ground sprinting, and I made money. I did it. So, and what's cool about this experience, where it is the most I've been stressed about money in a while. I have been going out of town a lot lately, so that's to blame. Not to blame, but that is the reason why, because I have been traveling a lot. You know, I helped Angel move. I didn't help anything else, but then I went to Ohio for this wedding, and lo and behold, I was low on stress, the most stressed I'd ever been about it. But now that I have been through this, where I was the most stressed, but then I was able to, a bunch of clients were reaching out to me, and it was fine. And now I feel good about my financial situation for the time being, for the next week. And then once I'm going to New York City on Thursday to visit Angel. I will then once again probably be stressed about money once again. Once I get back, that will probably be the case, because I go out of town, I can't make money. You know, unless you guys want to give me money. Unless you want to give me money while I'm away and out of town. Or unless, big news, my brother Keith, he gave me a stock tip. GameStop is back in the news. GameStop is blowing up again. And Keith said the other week, my brother he texted me, he said GameStop's about to explode. And I didn't take his advice. I didn't, but then it did. He was right, and it did. And he said it's going to happen again next week. So I took his advice and invested a little bit of money in it. And I hope he's right again. Because if it went well, I wouldn't have life-changing amount of money, but I would build my cushion, my little savings cushion, all the more. But you know, money is stressful. Look at that. It's right there. Sorry, I pulled wow, that's wild. Does it sound any different with this like this or this like this? It sounds exactly the same, I guess. Well, that's enough talking about money. Guys, what's your favorite food? What is your guys' favorite food? God, I love food. I think food is the best. I'm a big fan of so many foods. Foods are, I mean, what's great about food is that it sustains you. It fills you up. It gives you life. It gives you energy. It gives you vitamins. It gives you minerals. I didn't take my vitamins today. And by that, I mean, I didn't take my green juice. I take my vitamins in the form of green powder. I drop into some water and then put some vitamin D supplements on there. Vitamin D dripper dropper. I got the Athletic Greens, and they sent me a year supply of dripper dropper, a year supply of vitamin D3 and K2, and I take that every day except for today. I forgot, and maybe that's why I feel the way I feel, which is kind of like a worm. You know, I feel kind of like a worm today. I don't know what it is, but I just feel kind of like a worm. It's okay to feel like different things, though. I don't identify as a worm, but I feel like a worm. If I were to identify as any non-human thing, it would be probably a cow, dairy cow. I love cows. I think they have a good outlook on life. They look like they do, at least, you know. I can't get in the brain of a cow, but a cow is always, you know, cows have a curiosity about the world around them. Cows think, they ponder, they constantly are on the verge of philosophizing about something bigger, about something maybe that, you know, we people simply just cannot even wrap our silly little people brains around. Cows, you know, cows, they have two stomachs and they also have two brains. They have two brains so they can have multiple thoughts going simultaneously, and that's what the one thing I relate to. Because you ever doing something and you're thinking about something else while you're doing it? That happens to me. When has it happened? I'm thinking in comedy, you know, comedy, or like in college when I was in a play, I would be saying my lines, but also thinking about something else at the same time. And that always amazed me about the way my brain works, about the way anyone's brain probably works is, I'm able to say words with my mouth, but also think words with my head. And I don't think in words. Some people think in words. Some people think in pictures. And some people think in nothing at all, which is completely baffling to me. Like an inner monologue is what I've heard of. At least I haven't seen a TikTok or an Instagram reel about it, but I have seen that I have heard that some people, they just don't have an inner monologue, and that blows me away. So like, if you don't have an inner monologue, are you just sitting still thinking about nothing? Because I'm usually thinking about something. Like right now I'm thinking about what I'm saying next that's coming out of my pie hole. What's coming out of my pie hole next, but I'm also like an RV comes to mind, or a Subway sandwich, or the Subway, New York City, I'm going to go see Angel next week. Rats are in New York City. Rats find little pills on the ground sometime. I bet a rat has taken a painkiller before. That makes me think of heroin. That makes me think of Afghanistan. That makes me think of U.S. troops. That makes me think of space for some reason, because I guess space, NASA, Space Force, somehow it relates. But space, an asteroid, fire comes off the asteroid. SpaghettiOs, because they kind of look like they had an asteroid on their thing at one point, but now we're back to an astronaut and the MTV astronaut and mud tires, because somehow when the astronaut from MTV was walking, he kind of looked like a monster truck. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have been a monster truck. MTV could have had a monster truck as their mascot at one point. Monster Jam, Undertaker, John Cena, WWE, Logan Paul, Donald Trump, those mints that are white and red, Christmas time, Santa Claus, elves, snow, Buddy the Elf, the polar bear from Elf, spaghetti with M&Ms and sugar and syrup on it, syrup, pancakes. It's all just word association. That's all I'm doing right now, you know, and just how my brain works when I'm doing that is very interesting, because I'm saying one word and I'm picturing the next thing, like a little snake, a little hole in the ground where the snake goes. A spider comes in, it's a trapdoor spider, you know. I see that all in my head. That's kind of how my brain works. Does everyone's brain work like that? I would like to know. I would like to know if everyone's brain works in a similar way to me, because my brain definitely, I just see pictures in my head all the time. But I'm thinking about things, and it is like, the way I'm thinking is like, it's like it's kind of like a womb inside my head. It's like how they make a baby. Like in a movie, if someone's in a womb, you hear like, it sounds very muffled. Like it sounds like you're underwater kind of. In the movie, they make it sound like that way, at least like the baby is underwater. And I kind of like it, but it like synapses are firing, and it's kind of morphing. You know how AI, sometimes they have AI images that's like kind of like an acid trip or a mushroom trip, where it's kind of like, going in and out of images. That's kind of how I think. I feel like that's kind of how I think, but I don't know. I would like to see what it's like to see how other people think. You know, I've famously said on this podcast, I want to know how dogs think. I want to know how other people think. I want to feel what it's like to think the way someone else does. You know, because I only know the way I think. And it's in a series of pictures. My girlfriend got me on this GoPuff thing. You heard of this? You heard of this? This GoPuff. You can order CVS stuff from an app on my phone. Comes to my door. Tip the guy. It's like Uber, but for little snacks or drinks, or you're not getting groceries through it. You can get groceries, but it's kind of like GoPuff is like it's like Uber for a CVS run. GoPuff is like Uber, but it's not quite Uber Eats because it's not food that's ready. It's like Uber for the convenience store. But they have a little more than the convenience store. Like, you could get groceries on there, I think. But it's mainly processed stuff. I don't know if they have, like, bananas. And they might have bananas. But I think they have everything on there. It's kind of like the grocery store. And I don't think it's much more expensive than actually going to the convenience store. Because I was about to, but ordered 2 bubblies on there. They were $7.49 a piece. And you buy 2... get $3 off, and now it's at $11, but then they do a small order fee. So if you don't get 3 bubblies, you might as well get 3 instead of getting 2. I don't go on TikTok much, but I'm trying to post more clips on TikTok, strictly TikTok. I don't want to spam my friends and family on Instagram because I feel like Instagram is more of a place where you curate a vibe, a feeling. Instagram is more of a, it's kind of the website. It's kind of my website is what Instagram is for me. But TikTok is like, because I notice if I would just TikTok, Instagram already doesn't care for my clips, and maybe they suck. Maybe that's what it is. But TikTok, I'm noticing if I spam it, I posted 3 today, I get more followers. So it's the life of a guy. The life of someone that does stand-up comedy and posts online content. The road is different these days. The road to success is way different than it used to be. There's many different avenues to find success. There's many different avenues to find your way in life. You know, right now is one of the best times ever to live, but sometimes I yearn to wonder what it was like to live in the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s. But coming up in stand-up comedy then was you would go to open mics, and then maybe eventually a headliner would notice you're doing good, so he would take you on the road, and then you would slowly become a middle act and then become a headliner eventually. And now it's just like you can find instant success immediately, which I think is what people are chasing. Certainly I've been guilty of hoping that a clip of mine would take off, and then it would catch the ire of someone. I think we all want that. Anyone doing stand-up comedy, anyone doing anything in the entertainment industry wants the easy way to the top, but it's a long road to the top if you want to rock and roll. For most people, some people are like a needle in a haystack, and they get lucky and they just have a meteoric rise immediately. They don't have to spend the 7 to 12 years of slogging it out, and for me, open mics and bar shows and whatever else and posting clips online. That's almost the open mic of the online world, it seems like. But some people now just get thrust into this weird level of internet fame, which I don't know if that it's lucrative for sure, but how many people get thrust into some kind of fame and notoriety, but the finances don't come with it? Because I would be pretty bummed if I got online famous, but I did also not get rich. That would be confusing and baffling. How do you dovetail it into Wealth. How do you dovetail it into a wealth of money? How do I do that? But really, I don't think I could handle it if it happened to me. If I was thrust into fame right now, I don't think I could handle it. I don't know if I could, but I don't feel like I could. I think I'd be like, oh, I can definitely party now. And I'd probably start doing cocaine because I'd have so much access to it and probably die way too young. And I can't. That's why, honestly, that's why God's not letting me be famous. That's the only reason why, because he knows I couldn't handle it. No, it's, what I'm doing, comedy is like, I have had, if you're in this thing, stand-up comedy, I don't think, I think it'd be a lie if you said, I don't think about being famous at all. I love the art of it. We all think about it. We all think about, like, it would be nice to be a famous stand-up comedian, a famous headliner. It'd be nice. I mean, ideally, that's ideal, but no one knows what that's like until you're there. And I'm not there. Where am I right now? I'm Taylor Neely. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I am a handyman and a comedian and a podcaster and a flipper of trash, government trash. I go on government auction websites and buy their trash and flip it. Those are all things about me. And you just accept your life circumstances as they come to you. Let's do a big stretch. I'm going to be in New York City this next coming up Thursday. I'm excited for that. That's going to be good. Maybe me and Angel will do some open mics. Maybe we'll do a little podcast, maybe a New York podcast. I'm due for a guest. Certainly I'm due for a guest because it's been 3 straight solo episodes and and they're fun and all. They're good, but as I'm doing them, sometimes I'm like, I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again or repeating myself, and that's okay. I think that's okay. I think that's fine. I'm still figuring this out. I'm still figuring out how to maintain the momentum of, a certain topic, a certain feeling, how to keep pushing it forward and pushing it as far as it will go, milking it for every last drop of idea milk that's in there. I'm massaging and milking my brain for any juice that it has left. The juice is sometimes worth the squeeze. Sometimes it's worth the squeeze, and sometimes it's, you gotta squeeze it really hard. Sometimes the juice is worth the smash. Sometimes you gotta smash it to get the juice. We all love smashing. Who doesn't love smashing? It's weird. I've never quite felt a part of, really, really like the most popular thing at the moment, like TikTok trends. Things that are being highlighted in popular culture. I've never really focused on that, and I've always felt like a little bit separated from that. Like the popular thing has never really piqued my interest. Like what's going on with Katy Perry, or what's the new dance, or like on TikTok right now. Angel showed me this lady that makes everything from scratch for her husband. Like bubblegum is one that pissed everyone off, or she makes pizza for him, or she makes stuff for her kids from scratch. And I guess that's the fun thing to parody online. And, Angel told me, Angel said to try like parodying something that's popular on TikTok. And I just don't watch enough TikTok. And my TikTok is just all sad right now. It's hopeful. My TikTok's very hopeful. My Instagram is too. I'm just getting an onslaught of hopeful stuff and stuff that makes me cry in a happy way. Like a police officer helping a man that was cold in his car and buying him a hotel room, or an old lady who the biggest regret of her life was not marrying the black man that her boyfriend in college was black, and This was back in like the, I guess, 60s, 70s, 50s. I don't know, but her biggest regret was not marrying him because of the pressure from her mom saying, back when white people were way more racist about, like, if you were a white man in the 50s and your daughter was dating a black man, a lot of white men did not approve of their daughters dating black men. It's just how the United States was. I'm not saying it was good or bad. It's just how it was. But I'm sure there were people that didn't have a problem with it. But how many people in, like, back then, like, race, like, it's easy right now to be like, Nazi Germany or Jim Crow era United States. It's easy to be like, I wouldn't have been like that. But how many people, that's just how things were. And I'm not excusing it, but how many people were like, they just went with it because it was the okay thing to do. Which is a bummer that it's good that we have evolved, at least socially, to where we recognize that racism is incredibly wrong. Actual racism, hate is incredibly wrong. Hate has no home here. You know what else doesn't have a home here? Termites, bullworms. Ooh, an angry opossum, because they bite. Arr, I bet they bite. An angry possum definitely would bite you if you grab him. He'll bite you. A bat will bite you. I got bit by a bat. Had to get rabies shots. Those hurt. A bat will bite you. Bats don't want to be grabbed. No matter how much ecstasy you're on and you think the bat wants to be freed to the outdoors where they belong. Honestly, bats belong outside. They don't belong indoors. If we wanted bats indoors, there'd be way more bats indoors. There'd be way more bats indoors. I hope everyone out there is doing okay. I hope everyone out there is feeling good. I'm feeling like I'm in a good place right now. I've been working myself to the bone, bad to the bone. I've been working my body to the bone. I've been working myself to my wit's end, to the, I've been working it, just this week, but not overworking myself, just working longer than I normally work to make a little bit more money. Because that's what I need. I've got 4 bucket hats over there. I'm a bucket hat kind of boy. I'm a bucket hat kind of guy. I love me a bucket hat. It is what I prefer to wear. I don't like hats with one bill. I want the bill to be all the way around. I'm probably going to go to this late night open mic at Dynamic El Dorado. Dynamic El Dorado. Oh. We're gonna finish it out with a little something I don't ever do, which is wear sunglasses on the podcast. Wearing sunglasses on the podcast. This feels good. We're vaping. We're wearing sunglasses. It's 83 degrees outside right now. That's simply too hot for the nighttime. It's simply too hot. But I'm going to go outside. I wish I could wear long sleeves. I don't want to do the sunglasses. They don't feel right. I don't think I'm ready to evolve to the next level, which is wearing sunglasses while podcasting. I'm not at that place yet. Sometimes I fancy myself a cool guy and sometimes I fancy myself a loser, I was talking to someone on the phone today. A big AA thing is like a egomaniac with an inferiority complex. Like, I think very highly of myself, but I think others think lowly of me. And I don't think, when I think of it rationally, they don't. People don't. I really had that. I had that episode recently where I was really down on myself, and I realized that's how I am, I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. I'm pretty silly. I'm a pretty silly goose. I'm the silliest of gooses, I'm a silly goose in a little propeller hat. A little propeller hat. I got a whoopee cushion ready to go. I've got snakes in a can ready to go, ready to burst, ready to just, surprise everyone at the barbecue. Surprise everyone at the office Christmas party. Snakes in a can? When was the last time you saw snakes in a can? And I brought snakes in a can to a show, and I I bursted them out, and you know, it didn't get the response I wanted. But Snakes in a Can, classic comedy. Snakes in a Can, classic comedy. Snakes in a Can. Here's another fun thing: if you're having a bunch of people over to your house, fill your medicine cabinet full of marbles. So you can catch someone going through your medicine cabinet. It's an old trick for if you're having a bunch of sober alcoholics or drug addicts over your house. You know, people that are probably going to rifle through your medicine cabinet, see if they can find a little treat, see if they can find a little pill to snack on. And if you fill it with marbles, when you open the medicine cabinet, they come falling down. And it's a funny prank, and also you can find the thief at your party. Because, you know, people steal. People do that. That is, I wonder if most people steal, like petty theft. At some point in their life, I wonder if most people have done that. I'm sure most people have thought about it. I think about it. I don't think about it much anymore. But like, I'll be in Home Depot getting lumber for a client, and I'll want to ring up the expensive lumber for cheaper. But the client always pays for the lumber, but I don't want to front that money for the lumber. I don't want that money to leave my bank account at all, because that's my money, and I want to keep it forever. I hate spending my money. Actually, I don't mind spending money. I wish I had more money to spend. I wish I had more money to give. I just want $1 million. That's all I want, $1 million. It doesn't go far these days, but I would feel good on $1 million. I could really cruise on $1 million. I could not go to work. I could golf every day. I could really get my golf game sharp. I could really fix up any problems with my truck. Any problems. You know, my truck doesn't have any major issues, but it does have stuff coming down the line that needs fixed. The differentials need service. It needs new shocks and struts. It needs brake fluid flush. It needs those things, and I could fix all those. I could get some cool wheels and big fat tires for my truck. I could do all of this. But one thing these past few days have taught me is if I really put my mind to it, if I work a lot, I can make a bunch of money. I just also like my downtime. But I go through periods where I'm like, I've been working my ass off at work, really getting a lot of work done, making money, and there's pride there. It's good to feel pride. It's good to feel a sense of accomplishment. Because if I didn't need to work, I think I would feel a little lost, honestly. I think I would get lost in the sauce. I guess I would golf a lot, work on that, and I would do more podcasts, I guess. We'd do 2 a week. Oh, 2 podcasts a week? I don't know if Noob Assassin couldn't handle 2 podcasts in a week. He might explode. He might overdose on Taylor Neely, which I don't think you can. I haven't even overdosed on Taylor Neely, but we sure damn been close. We sure damn been close to overdosing on Taylor Neely, but I've just simply pushed it to the limit as far as it will go. I've simply pushed it to the edge of my limitations, and I think I'm at a point. I think it feels like I'm at a point. I'm at a crossroads in my life where I'm feeling more mature. At least right now, I'm feeling more mature in how I think about drugs and alcohol, at least. I don't know. Today I was driving and a beer kind of sounded good, but, you know, I was able to rationalize it and think one beer leads to so many beers. One beer leads to all the beers in the world. One beer leads to a week of beers and vodka and twisted teas in my bed until I go through alcohol withdrawal. And we don't want to do that again. We don't want to do that again. We don't want to feel that again, because that stunk. That stunk the most out of anything that's ever stunk in my life. Out of all the things in my life that have stunk, that is the top of the list of things that stink. Alcohol withdrawal, going to the emergency room. That is the number one thing in my life that has stunk the most. But we made it through it, and we can be stronger from it. We can learn from it. The lesson to learn is the lesson I've been learning since I was 21, which is I'm an alcoholic and a drug addict, but I can do a little mushrooms and it seems to be okay. Oh, what I meant to say about mushrooms is I do see the benefit in microdosing mushrooms, because I will be. Have I said this? I wish there was somebody to tell me I've said this, but I will. I feel like I want to take a midday nap, but the mushrooms kind of mitigate the feeling of needing a midday nap. It just seems to give me a sustained energy. I think there is some benefit in that. there is some uh, there is some uh, some synonym for benefit, some antidote to being sleepy. Because I got sleepyitis. Sometimes I just got sleepyitis. I'm the sleepiest boy that there ever was. I got a case of the sleepyitis. So here's a joke I've been working on. I wonder if it's any good at all, but it's about like, like spiders. I like the fact that we swallow spiders in our sleep. I think that's good. I like that fact a lot. Because, what's the statistic? 8 spiders a year in our sleep. That's it. We swallow 8 spiders a year in our sleep. That's all you got. I'll eat 8 spiders right now. No problem. Because it's probably just little itty bitty spiders. The itty bitty spider crawled into my mouth. I swallowed it. And it went down to my tummy. Because if it's little jumping spiders we're swallowing in our sleep, 8 of those guys, that's easy peasy. I can do that like the back of my hand in my sleep. Hands tied behind my back, eyes closed. Spiders down the gullet. But if it's 8 tarantulas we're swallowing in our sleep, if that's the spider we're eating in our sleep, that's a big problem. That's a big spider. But you ever seen a video of a tarantula crawling in a guy's mouth and just hanging out there? They like it. Spiders like going into our mouths. They like going down into our bellies. They yearn for our bellies. They yearn to see the deep of our bellies. They have an explorer's mind, an explorer's drive to see what's next, to see what's unexplored, to see what is beyond the horizon. Spiders all have an innate animalistic urge to see what is in our bellies. They yearn for the gullet. The spiders yearn for the gullet. That's what they need. That's what they want. Set them down there like little miners. They can get the bubble gum that hasn't dissolved in the past 7 years. That's what they say. They say you swallow bubble gum, it doesn't get digested for 7 whole years. Imagine that. So here we are. Here we did it. Another episode of Taylor Neely Show, brought to you by me, Taylor Neely, from Taylor Neely Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This has been another episode of Taylor Neely Show. How much further can we go? What's next? What's in store? The future is bright. The future is exciting. The future is full of possibilities, full of hopes and dreams and things that will never quite work out how we envision them, but they will work out. Stay the path, and the path opens. The doors that you don't go through, eventually they will open and you'll be able to go through them. That's what someone said once. Unaccredited quote to someone who said that once. Happy Father's Day. It's on Sunday, a couple days. I hope if you're a dad, I hope it's great. Being a father is a beautiful thing. Being a parent is a beautiful thing. God dang it. Being a parent seems like a beautiful thing. The love you can have for a child. I don't have a child. My parole officer said, I can't have any babies. He said, I'm not allowed yet. Just kidding. I don't have a parole officer. But being a child, that love seems like it sounds like a love you just can't experience unless you have a child. And to all the fathers out there, to all the good fathers out there, you've done a good job. You've done a good job. You've raised a good boy, a good girl. You did your best. You did the best with the knowledge you had. And maybe you were a piece of shit sometimes, but no one can be a perfect parent. But, you love your kids. I know my parents love me. I love my parents. I got the best parents in the world. They're my parents, but they're also my friends. I like them. I like my parents a lot. I like them and I love them. And there's a difference between liking and loving. And I like my parents as people and I love them as my parents, but they're also like, I can hang out with them. I can hang out with them for an endless amount of time. I never get annoyed with them. I never get bored with them. It's a good relationship and I'm lucky in that. And I will never be able to fully convey the kind of love and the amount of love I have for my parents. It's just an unending love. It's the love they showed me through raising me, being there for me as a kid, taking me to all those sports things, You know, it's hard not to get emotional around that stuff because life is emotional. I'm an emotional boy. I'm an emotional guy. I tear up. I cry. I cry happy tears about stuff because it just feels good. It feels good. It feels right. It's a beautiful thing. The relationship between a parent and a child, and I got a little distracted there. But that about does it. That about does it for Taylor Neely's show. I was thinking about the open mic I'm about to go to and absolutely just lay down the law. Absolutely let him have it. I'm going to let him have it. I hope you let him have it. Go home, get some rest. Big day tomorrow. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're excited for the future. I hope you're stacking cheddar cheese. I hope your financial goals are being realized and actualized and minimized and qualified. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Taylor's Riff Raff tomorrow, 10 p.m. Dynamic Eldorado, Saturday, June 15th. Dynamic Eldorado. Riff Raff is happening. One of two left before I had the big move. The big move to the Big T. The Big T Exis. The Big T Exis, Tejas, Austin, Tejas. That's it for me from Taylor Neely Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. I'll see you next time. Until then, a kiss for the road.